What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Barbells and Trails. We got another episode for you. We're actually recording earlier than normal, unlike last week. So we're trying to be on top of it for you guys. I haven't talked in a sec. What you been up to, Noah?
So much. I apologize. It's like early. Just again, boring life, but just a lot of working out, working, and school. And I have like no time in each day. Each day is just like as soon as I'm out of bed, it's a rush to get done with everything I possibly can in one day and still get like 8 hours of sleep. Like today's going to be busy, which is why we're recording early, because tomorrow I leave for my school's track and field championships. So
You better win.
Oh yeah, I'll totally win a 10K around the track.
Easy.
Yeah,
easy. Fair enough. Life
What
can be
about you?
boring at times.
Dude,
Yeah.
running around a track, like a 10K, that's 25 laps around a track. And it is so boring. So boring.
Just throw in your AirPods, listen to some music, or
We're not
jam.
allowed.
What?
We're not allowed to listen to music. We'll get DQ'd.
That's stupid. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
What
All
would
right.
you?
I mean, honestly, not much at all. It's kind of pathetic, but it's all right.
Yeah, we're pretty boring.
We are pretty boring. And for some reason we thought it'd be nice for us to make a podcast, but
I got a new air fryer. That's new.
Oh,
Someone
Lord.
gave me a free air fryer. I've been air frying so much food. It's freaking amazing.
Nice. All right, Noah. So let's just see. You know how we went on a chicken tangent last week? I think I know where you need to go now. Because I was reading something in the news and heard about this. Apparently, I can't. I'm not sure exactly what island, but Hawaii is being overran by feral chickens.
Oh, well, I can come and eat them for them.
Yeah, apparently the chickens are everywhere, like roosting and everything, causing property damages, and it's gotten so bad that they have tried to pass a bill to take care of the chickens, like in legislature. And I didn't know this, but it was so bad that apparently they had a chicken management program since 2016, and how they were supposed to capture and euthanize the birds if roaming around residents' home, and all sorts of stuff. And I guess they tried passing a bill and are trying to get more people to for the government to take care of it, because there's so many chickens. People are getting pissed off and causing property damages, and apparently they're a risk. Apparently they're saying that they're a potential road bump,
Well,
and
yeah, now that you
driving
say
hazard.
that, I do have a friend that she's Hawaiian, and do you know which island it is?
I don't know off the top of my head. I see something
'Cause
about a Pearl City.
on her island, they have a chicken problem, and they just
I
like
think
go
they-
out, and if they see chickens, they'll shoot them.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's the crazy thing. The United States cannot handle fighting off an army of chickens, which is kind of sad. But I mean,
think we could.
I mean, basically everything in Hawaii is not natural to the island. So I mean, chickens were brought there like I think it was like over 800 years ago, and they've just kind of roam wild, and some have gotten out and populated. But yeah, I guess it's so bad that lawmakers are now proposing a statewide concern for the chickens because they're so bad as a rodent health hazard. The program would deploy a special bird feed that includes a chemical, basically to kill the birds.
That's crazy.
Because it's that bad, apparently. I guess they're roosting in coconut trees and waking people up early and pissing everybody off and a bunch of other stuff. Like, part of it is property damage. Part of it is
Not
it's
the
just making
coconut trees.
everybody's getting angry.
Ah,
I was gonna say, but I think there
that's
might be. I don't know if I don't know if they have recorded numbers, but I thought I heard that there might be more chickens than people in Hawaii.
dude.
I don't know if that's
Why
true.
is there? There better not be like a chicken breast shortage in Hawaii. Then
I know they should be fine. They should be fine.
we just need to stop sending Hawaii food. They're good. They can handle
Yeah,
themselves.
I was gonna say there's.
Just cut them all off. They're fine. They're good.
Yeah, I know. I
They
was
got
like, man,
they got all the
Noah
chickens.
was talking about chickens and everything last week. He's just gonna move to Hawaii and start hunting chickens and living off of them.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drive to the coast and start swimming today.
You know, you like that. We people do
Don't
make boats, Noah. They make boats.
don't
We
don't
can.
don't burst my bubble, Brett.
I'm not
Don't
bursting no
don't
bubbles.
don't tell me about no boat.
Have you not
If you
watched Pirates
don't,
of the Caribbean?
I, I yeah, I've been watching Pirates of the Caribbean every day. Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I did watch all the Pirates of the Caribbean recently.
I haven't watched it in so
Bro,
long.
I got so tempted. I was like, "Fuck! I have Disney Plus. Why don't I just watch
Have
it?"
you seen the new Doctor Strange though?
No, I have not. I have not.
It's kind of a
That's
disappointment.
not
It's
on
still
Disney
good.
Plus yet.
It's still good, but kind of a disappointment.
Well, it's hard to compete with the movies they've put out over the past 3 years.
Yeah, but the expectations were so high for this one.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm still gonna watch it 100%. It looks pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, speaking of, I guess Johnny Depp and Pirates of the Caribbean, I've watched even more of the trial and whatever else,
Mm-hmm.
and more stuff with Amber being up on the stand, and man, is she. I don't think she understands how law works. She has lied on the stand so many times, and is
Yeah,
just doesn't know what, like, she's getting cross-examined and thinks she's smarter than the attorney and whatever else. I mean,
and
did you
she's a
see?
really bad actor.
Oh, she's a terrible actor. She sucks. She's literally
Like
trying to
really,
act
really bad.
smart.
Like I studied psychology for a long time because I'm really interested in it. And like by the book, like you can like she's doing all these little cues with her like body and facial expressions. That's just like, oh, that's you can definitely tell she's like bending the truth and like lying and like
Oh yeah.
it's just
What
like
did you
uh,
see? Did you see the bit where she was trying to say that she apparently pledged her divorce
yeah.
settlement,
I actually just watched
and
that like 10 minutes ago.
yeah, she pledged it, but she didn't donate it, and apparently those are the same things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then she tried comparing, basically donating to charity or pledging to charity as a mortgage. She said, "Well, you know you don't buy a house all at once, and whatever else." And it's like, you already had the money. If you have the $7 million and you try saying that you gave the 7 million to a charity, there's no wait time. You can sign a check and it's done.
Yeah. She's
She's just
she's a
making
pretty
it worse
horrible
and worse.
person.
Oh yeah,
Like,
she's not gonna have a career after this.
I almost would have to disagree.
You think
Because
she?
she's, I think so. Because she's still signed to, like Aquaman, and
It's very
with how
unlikely, I feel like.
I don't know, with how the world is, she just like I think more big like Hollywood studios are going to take her side, even though like the whole
Um,
population is like screw her.
no, if anything, it'll probably be the opposite because most of the time the studios try playing on the feel of people. So if basically everybody thinks she's crazy and honestly now kind of sees the truth of who she really is, and nobody likes her, they're probably not going to put her in any big movies. I mean, she might be in movies, but they're not going to be anything major.
I guess we'll see. She's still signed to Aquaman, so I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think Johnny Depp will get many. See, his life is still ruined, like forever. No matter how the trial goes, like his life is screwed.
Um,
And he even said that. He even said that in like the trial, and I'm like,
I feel
yeah, he
like
has
he
a point.
could. I feel like he could have a comeback, but I mean, it's not
I
like
don't
he
know.
necessarily needs to work either.
That's true.
I was gonna say he still has. I don't even know, but a lot of money. I mean, like that's the thing. Like Amber just with the whole situation, she just kind of put it on herself. Like none of this was gonna happen, but for some reason she couldn't just take the divorce settlement of 7 million and leave it at that and it be over. She had to go write an article and talk slander about Johnny Depp, and then now look where she is now. So,
Yeah, what? How did this trial? Like, I
so
don't know the full
they
story. So what did
okay.
she do?
She put out an article years ago, basically saying that Johnny abused her, whatever else, somewhere, and whatever, and that's how she broke the story or whatever. So everybody read it. There was not necessarily a trial, I don't think, at the time. And then because of that and the publicity, I'm pretty sure that's what got him cut from like Pirates of the Caribbean and Disney and a bunch of other stuff. Um, and that's what kind of started it. And then I think before they ended up trial here, they were on trial in the UK over it. And in the UK, over the dispute, they won in favor of Amber. So he said, screw that, and was like, I got all the evidence. You honestly have no evidence that I've ever done anything to you. And basically was taking her back to court to disprove that, like, to disprove what was, I guess, what happened in the last court hearing. I'm blanking on the words right now, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, man,
So
that really sucks for the dude.
it's something else.
And it's crazy to just think that probably there's multiple guys, just like Johnny, that are going through that. Like, there's you hear like the stories about all the other women that go through that, and that's horrible as well. But also like how many guys are going through that too and don't feel like they can speak out because of it.
Yeah, and yeah, it just depends on the person, I guess. And either way, it's obviously a terrible situation for anyone, and
Mm-hmm.
it's stupid that that kind of stuff happens, but it's
Yeah.
more common than you think. I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
have you
crazy.
heard any other news stories in the world?
I actually just saw something about I think this happened on Mother's Day in Dallas. A security guard delivered a baby in the elevator. Um, so I guess
Oh,
this
word?
yeah, I guess the this security guard was taking, I don't know. I mean, she was in labor, or whatever else. Was trying to get her to her room, and whatever else. And wheeled her into the elevator. And on the security footage, and I guess by the time they got to whatever floor, which I guess is pretty quick. This I think was the mother's fourth child, so yeah, she's used to it. She knows what she's doing. But by the time they got to where the door opened, she was holding a baby. So in the time that they were in the elevator, he helped her deliver the baby.
What
I
a
guess she was
good
that ready to just pop
security
the baby
guard.
out.
Man, that must have been fast
Yeah,
because
yeah.
elevators don't last that long. I
No,
wonder if music was playing during it.
and especially in a hospital. Hospitals aren't that tall, so it's like, how'd they do
Yeah,
that
but
so
think about the
quickly?
elevator music. Now I'm not even worried about anything else. I'm just thinking, did this lady birth this child while listening to elevator music?
I mean, there could be
Because
worse
that,
music to listen to.
like heavy metal, what would be the worst music to? I mean,
I,
I've never been
uh,
pregnant, and I don't
I,
plan on ever being pregnant because I'm a guy. But
I
what would be the worst music to listen to while in labor?
I don't, I don't know. I guess it
I
depends
would
on the
say
person.
heavy metal, heavy
Honestly,
metal music.
there'd probably be some women that are into that.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it would just depend on the person. Because I mean, some
Dang.
people might go classical, people might go pop. I don't know. They listen to their favorite artists,
If you
whatever.
were a woman,
Mm.
what music would you listen to while in labor?
Oh, maybe something from Tech Nine, little NF.
Oh,
Get something to get me pumped a little bit. Be like, I'm gonna
get you
fucking
pumped
get
to
this
get that.
baby. I'm gonna get this baby out of me. Like, let's go. I'm not gonna be in here for 24 hours like my mom was.
Oh, dude, I can't imagine
Yeah,
what
I'm
they
sorry,
do.
mom.
Moms
Yeah,
are the best. That's why
yeah,
that's why women are tougher than guys.
yeah. I mean, since we're kind of on the topic, I mean, my birthday is next weekend, and
I know. I'm not going to
or
forget.
I'm not, that's, but I'm just saying, my mom, let's just say when I was born, she was in labor for over 24 hours because, I guess I was doing somersaults or something in the uterus, and I was upside down, um,
Why does that
when
sound
she
like
was in
you?
labor. I and
You would.
the weird thing is the doctors or nurses didn't check sooner. So she had been in labor, they tried pushing, nothing. And then like apparently the doctor came in and was like, "Oh, well, he's upside down." They flipped me around and I was out within like 10 minutes.
Hmm.
So my mom was just like chilling there eating ice chips and watching the Indy 500 at one point while she was in the hospital.
That does sound like your mom. Yeah, your mom would do that.
Yeah. So I mean, I know that I think what other stories from my birth was there? I think my uncle fell asleep laying under the chairs in the waiting room. Um, and then my great grandmother at the time showed up with a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. So,
That does sound
so
like your family.
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think how old she would have been at the time. She would have been, oh Lord, she would have been 84 or something, like 83. And she showed up at the hospital with Kentucky Fried Chicken for everybody because everybody was tired and didn't want to wait on me. I was taking too damn long.
I mean, I don't want to complain.
I was going to say my mom probably wishes it was as quick as an elevator ride. But I
I
guess in the
I bet a
article,
lot of moms do.
true. In the article, it said that the security guard had no medical training whatsoever, and this is a quote from him: "No medical training whatsoever. It was just one of those things where you watch all this TV and you just gotta put it into practice right now." So,
Oh,
thanks to
have you ever seen
Chicago
Mall Cop?
Med, yeah,
Mall Cop.
I've seen Mall Cop.
What I imagine is like a security guard like Mall Cop saying that. I like doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no,
That's kind of funny.
that makes sense. I mean, hey, the baby's safe and sound. That's all that matters, right? So,
Hmm.
I guess something else that wasn't necessarily in the news, but I did see the other day was Machine Gun Kelly performed at the Billboard Music Awards,
Hmm.
and him and Megan Fox are expecting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he sang Twin Flames live, and it was honestly a very moving performance. And part of the song, he said, "This is this is for my unborn child or unborn child or whatever." And yeah, Megan Fox was crying. I think he about cried on stage too. You could tell he was very emotional. Like he was very into it. It was a really good performance.
That's really cool. But man, their relationship's a little weird.
Oh yeah, they're
I've
into
heard some
some
stories.
weird
I'm like,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like she said one time that she created Machine Gun Kelly. Like she's 4 years older than him, and so at 4 years old, she mentally created him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've read that, but I know that she does have a
Yeah.
ring that has a thorn on it, and
So if she
basically the
takes
only
it
way to
off,
take it off is to basically cut your finger. That they're into some weird kinky stuff,
that's that's
but
a that's a little weird. It's a little
hey,
weird.
you're into what you're into, and I guess it makes a baby.
I guess so.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I'm probably gonna see him in concert this year, no matter what. So
Oh,
that's
dude, that's gonna be sick.
that'll be awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
I want to go to a concert this summer, but I don't think I'll be able to. I'll
you've
be
never
too
been to a
busy.
concert,
I've been to one.
not a big concert.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, depending on when you come back
Yeah,
to Indiana, we could possibly see him, but I don't know. I don't know when you'd be
yeah.
here.
I have no idea when I'm gonna be back home. Maybe not till December. So I guess we'll see.
Well, in that case, yeah, we won't see him.
I'll be gone for quite a while.
Yeah. So speaking of interesting stuff, did you
Mm-hmm.
know in birthing that kangaroos have 3 vaginas? We're getting into a weird segment here.
Oh, I I was unaware.
I was not either, and I don't know how that works, but apparently it is a thing.
Like,
Yep.
why?
I don't know.
Do you know why? Like,
It's just
God had
there,
to
man.
create them that way for some reason or another.
That they wanted them. Yep. I mean, did you know that ducks have corkscrew dicks?
I I, I didn't. I
Yeah.
was unaware of that too.
Yeah, they. Yep. We have a very normal one, but yeah, ducks be packing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was gonna say, I think blue whales like dick is the size of an adult human, if not bigger.
That
Actually, I think it's bigger.
whales are a pretty interesting creature.
Yeah, I would love to pet a whale and be like, "Hello."
I would love to sit down and talk to one, see what it's up to.
Fascinating creatures. Fascinating.
Crazy.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this and see if you
Mm.
can answer the question. There's one part of the body that does not get or doesn't have any blood vessels, so it's not supplied oxygen, and it just gets
Mm.
it another way. Could you guess what part of the body that is? Mm-hmm.
Man, I should know this.
Yeah, you should. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I know anatomy, but I don't know
Yeah,
this.
come on, Noah. You got any?
Okay. I'm only going to say this because you were just talking about whales and ducks and their private parts. So,
D- uh,
is
no,
it?
it's not. It's not a dick.
Oh.
Noah, the whole
Shut up.
way guys get
You were
hard is
just.
from blood.
Well, you were talking about ducks and whales, and
Oh, you thought I was on a topic theme?
I thought you were on that
Like
topic. And I'm like,
just
they
about
can't be, because
dick facts?
anatomy and science, but I
No,
had to shoot my shot.
it's the cornea. There's no blood vessels that reach the cornea, and it gets its
Mm.
oxygen supply through the air.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm stupid.
Not A is just something that was interesting.
Huh.
I was gonna say, have you ever been to Pittsburgh by any chance?
Pittsburgh, I
Yeah.
think so. Like, driven through it a couple of times and been in it.
What do you know about Pittsburgh?
I know nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, did you know that it had the most bridges of any city in the world?
Really? Like covered bridges or just bridges?
Bridges. We're not in Indiana. They don't have covered bridges. They don't care about that.
What? Why do they have so many
446 bridges.
Dang.
Because the main part of the city is on an island in a river.
That's a lot
split
of
by a
bridges.
river. Yeah. I would think New York would be pretty high up there too. But I don't know. Or Venice. Like Venice. I was kind of surprised. I thought Venice would be up there. Or like the Netherlands. Like one of those countries. I would not have expected
fair.
Pittsburgh.
No, me neither. We'll have to go to Pittsburgh one day and just try to drive on every bridge.
Every bridge? Like
Every bridge in one day.
Every bridge. I mean, we could probably do it. Probably traffic would be annoying as hell. But
dude, yesterday I got stuck in traffic because this guy, it was this big semi truck with a giant bed, filled to the top with hay bales, and I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they were going too fast, if they didn't strip it down.
Okay.
But all the hay toppled over into the highway, and so like a giant highway had to get shut down so they could move hay, and it sucked yesterday. I was like, people in Indiana would appreciate this.
Yeah.
And what I found funny,
we like trailers.
is no one stopped, because in Indiana, if all the hay bales toppled over, everybody with a truck would pull over, get out,
Yeah, true.
put their hands on the hips, and just kind of look and be like,
yeah, they would just watch and be like, wow,
that sucks.
Speaking of something like that, have you ever realized, and I didn't know this because honestly I felt like it'd be pretty common because I do it, that Indiana's apparently we are known to be the weird people that will just go out on our porches or outside during a tornado or some crazy large storm and just watch.
Mm-hmm. I knew that.
I didn't realize that was weird.
Wait, is that weird?
Apparently that's pretty weird. Most people, if there's tornadoes, actually go into basements for shelter, but
why do they do that?
I don't think I've ever done that once.
I haven't either. No. I remember a lot of nights we all would go out on the front porch, sit down on the rocking chairs, and then just watch either a tornado or a lightning storm. And it was pretty cool.
Heat lightning is the coolest thing ever. It's awesome. It's so cool to watch in the summer. And that is one thing which is so weird, but considering where we are, Indiana has some amazing sunsets in the summer.
Yeah, there's people here that think heat lightning doesn't exist. That's a myth.
Well, they probably don't have it out there because I'm pretty sure it's.
No,
honestly,
they do.
I don't know.
Sometimes, Oregon actually doesn't. I've only seen lightning and thunder twice while I've been here, because I don't know.
I was gonna say I don't think they get really thunderstorms. They don't get big storms on the coast. Besides the East Coast, if they get hit by a hurricane or something, especially on the West Coast, it's just oh, here's a little bit of rain for 5 minutes, and then it's the Midwest.
It's not just 5 minutes.
Oh, it's gonna rain for 3 days. Here you go.
Yes.
Here's 7 inches of rain.
It sucks.
or whatever, or it's ridiculous.
It
Indiana
sucks.
Indiana weather is very interesting at times. That's for sure. But I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, I remember when I was a kid that there was a tornado watch, whatever else. Obviously, some tornadoes, it's like sunny outside and you'll still have like the storm be nearby, but like it's still like sunny and calm. Like it's that weird like in between. And the tornado ended up, I was like 5 or 6, and the tornado ended up hitting a house half a mile across the field from our place. We never went in the basement once.
Yeah, sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Like, I mean, I don't think anybody was hurt or anything like that, but yeah, it was literally within a half mile of our house, and we never took shelter or anything.
Yeah, I think
But
that's like most people in Indiana.
I think we're
That's
fascinated by
usually,
storms.
yeah, we
I think
are.
that's what it is.
Like, Indiana's so boring that we have to go out and like watch a storm because it's something new.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty interesting. But okay, so I got another fun fact for you. I don't know if you would know this.
Hit me with it.
So most of these all have to do with some sort of population size. I got 3.
Okay.
So I'll start from the top. 90% of all the world's population lives in the northern hemisphere.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but it makes sense. After I heard that, I was like, huh, that's pretty interesting. Okay, and then not only that, China has 101 cities with the population over 1 million people.
That makes sense.
Can you guess
China's
how many cities the U.S. has over 1 million?
um 27.5.
10.
I was close.
Sure.
Not really.
You were over twice as high, but it's all right. We'll take it. You get a participation trophy.
Oh, bet. I love
Yeah, I know
those.
that. I hate those.
I do too.
Yeah, they're. Yep, that'll be a topic we get into eventually.
Yeah.
That'll probably be something we talk about at one point or another. We'll just
I
say
say I
no, we
hate
don't like them.
Yeah, we'll get into it later.
I mean, I even hated it like in 4-H. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hated like at one point like them giving ribbons or whatever down to the very last person. I thought was kind of stupid because who the fuck wants to hold on to a ribbon when you're 10th out of 10?
Like it's stupid.
Yeah,
Although I say I hate participation trophies, but like I run races where everyone gets a medal.
yeah, and 20 years
But-
ago that probably was something.
I have to admit, like, I feel like that's
I
a
feel
little
like-
different. I feel like it's a little different because
Well, no, that's true. I feel like in certain cases that's different because just like I would say for probably like a Spartan race or something along those lines, it's even being able to do the whole race is a challenge in amongst itself. So
yeah, and everyone
just
has their
being
own
able
goals.
to
Like,
to just
when
be
they
able to
cross that
finish
finish
the
line-
race. Yeah,
when they cross that finish line, it's like they all have their own goals and they accomplish them hopefully at the end.
but I
And
guess
that's
if you're
pretty cool.
running competitively, I feel like sometimes it's kind of pointless. But if it's just like you just wanted to run, or whatever, to do the race and to do the challenge and just to get through it, I guess that's different.
Yeah,
At least for something like that.
I think a lot of pro competitors just like skip the medal. I mean, they'll take like
The
you know,
money,
like-
they'll take the money.
they'll take the money and like the podium medal, but not like the regular. Just,
Yeah, true. I mean, that's fair.
it's like I
Yeah.
don't blame them. Hopefully,
Okay,
I can
so-
get to that point where I'm just like, I don't need a medal. I got a podium medal for the elite with money. Don't give me another medal. Let's hope.
Okay, so this is my last fun fact that has to do with population, which honestly does kind of blow my mind. So 10% of the humans that have ever lived are alive right now.
10%?
10%. It is estimated, obviously they can't get exact numbers, that since human existence there has been anywhere between like 60 and 100 billion people. But I feel like the 100 billion is kind of a long shot on what they're trying to suggest. That's why there's a gap. But if, let's say, it's the 60, there's almost, what is it? We're like, what, 7.5, pushing 8 billion? So it's roughly 10% of all the humans that have ever existed are alive today.
Wow, so more people existed.
That is mind-blowing.
Existed back then than now?
No, like total. Like, since humans have been alive, there's only been roughly, let's say, 65 billion people ever live that are humans.
Got it.
And 10% of people, 10% of that is alive today. Like, right now.
Dang.
That's crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
And I'm pretty sure, which I don't know how accurate this is, because I think there's been some studies possibly disproving it, or the numbers are a little off. But I think a very large proportion of the people that have lived have all, like, I think like one of the highest mortalities is, I think, from melanoma, or not melanoma, from like mosquitoes killing people from spreading diseases.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And it's just been within like the past 100 years that ratio has like dropped significantly.
Well,
which is pretty crazy.
Well, I have a couple facts about Indiana.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see what you found, because it was something we kind of discussed a little bit, obviously last week, with you not knowing what we are best known for, which is our meth and high school basketball players.
I had no idea.
So I'm curious to see what you found out.
Did you? So Kokomo is a city that we live like 20 or 30 minutes away. Depends how fast you drive. But did you know Kokomo is known for a hum? It's called Kokomo Hum. And it's a sound.
Hum?
Yeah, it's a sound that comes from the city, like night and day. And it drives like people like half crazy. And only like 2% of people hear it. But they say it sounds like a train.
What, like, is there a reason behind it? Like, has there actually been anything to prove it?
I couldn't find anything on that, but a bunch of people say that Kokomo has a hum to it.
A hum. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but all right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I know that Kokomo is like one of the first places that it was the first place that the first car was ever made.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the first car was just spawned in that place.
I think it might have been Fort Wayne, sorry. But I can't remember the guy's name.
Huh.
But I think he drove from Kokomo to New York. Yeah. That was like the first ever, like, I guess, cross-country journey in a vehicle was from, I think, Kokomo to New York or something like that. Or that's what Kokomo's named after. Well, did you know that where the first ever car crash was recorded?
We had the first ever car crash?
Yeah, no, Indiana didn't, but it was in Ohio. And the weird, most random thing was there was only 2 cars in Ohio, and they happened to hit each other. And those things, max speed might have been 15 miles per hour, but guess what? Somehow they hit each other.
Man, they must have been really bad drivers.
Oh, yeah. People were terrible. Back in the day. They were excited for 20 miles per hour. They were like, wow, that's really fast.
That's fast. Whoa, better slow down there, buckaroo. Well, did you know Indiana also has some very weird laws?
I know of one, which I don't know if this is on your list or if you knew this.
Well, I have a few.
Apparently, it is illegal to hand fish in Indiana.
I did not know that one.
You can't go
I did
fishing
not.
with your bare hands.
Dang it! I was planning to.
Yep. I don't know why, but yep, that's apparently illegal.
Did you know it was illegal to take baths between the months of October and March in Indiana?
What?
Yeah.
October, March. I have what the hell? I mean, I've seen some of those
Yeah.
videos where it's like weird laws in the United States, and I swear most of the stuff is something that was like written up in 1850, and they're like, yeah, nobody should bathe between these months
I did
because
probably, but they
it
never changed it.
I know, like it's something. It's definitely something people just like forgot about, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's still written there somewhere. Like I think there was a city in Colorado where it was illegal to have snowball fights because in like
Oh yeah.
1920 or something or before that, there was some sort of riot and people were using it as a quote unquote like weapon or vandalism or something where they're like putting rocks and snowballs and people got hurt. So they banned it, and then some kid, like a 10-year-old, took it to court and like I think it was like 2013 to reprimand that law.
Good job, 10-year-old.
I know. So now it
We're
is
gonna.
legal to throw snowballs.
Dang. Well, now I told you this earlier, but
Oh.
so in Warsaw, Indiana, it
Mm-hmm.
is illegal to chuck your couch at your neighbor, and I wonder what happened for them to have to put this law in place. Like
It's illegal
who
to what?
chuck, like throw your couch at your neighbor?
Throw your
You cannot.
couch. Oh, I was like, I
You
thought you
can't
said
throw.
chuck your cat, and I was like, what?
Yeah, you can't do that either.
You can't throw your couch at your neighbor.
No,
Who was
sorry.
throwing their couch?
I don't know.
You know it had to be. Oh Lord, it would have been. Yeah, okay. I wish I was there
But
because that would have been a very very interesting
it would have been
l- l-
pretty interesting to see
interesting to
someone
witness.
see
I was
someone
gonna say
strong enough to lift a couch and throw
and
it.
throw it. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Especially if this is an old law. I don't think couches were super light back in the day. I mean, shit, a
no,
regular chair probably weighed 20, probably more than 20 pounds. But
this guy must have been on like anabolics, and like he must have been lifting.
did you know why our state is named Indiana?
Because it was named after a bunch of Indians.
Mm-hmm. Because there was a very large Indian population here back in the day. Which, to be honest, if you think about it, it probably was a very, very good place to settle. Now it's just mostly crops, sadly.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah. So
part Indian.
I am too
Fun
apparently,
fact.
but it's very very low.
Yeah, I like to say I'm pretty high on the Indian.
That's just because you drink
wait,
tan.
wait, that sounded weird.
Yeah, you're
I'm
very
pretty
high
high on
in
the
the
Indian.
Indian. But yeah, so that's where they originally got the name.
Got
Was
it.
from like the land. It meant like land of the Indian or whatever. And then, so I guess now, sadly, only 0.1% of the Indiana population is from Indians or from Native
Hmm,
Americans.
that's crazy.
It's bad. Like, oh man, that whole history of that in general is ridiculous. Like, it's terrible. The
Well, did
Indians
you
and the
know
settlers.
in Gary, Indiana, you need to wait 4 hours after eating garlic before like going to the movies?
Hmm. Um, are they worried about bad breath or like is there
I
vampires that
guess.
live in
Yeah.
Gary? I mean, Gary's
I
not a great place to live. I mean, it did make the Jackson 5, but other than that, I
that's
mean,
true.
I don't know what else came out of Gary that's like amazing.
I I guess you don't have to smell people's garlic breath. That's
I
pretty
guess not.
amazing.
Yeah. Well, here I got one for you.
Okay.
Did you know that Indiana was home to the first ever electrically lighted city?
I did know that. Yes.
which is crazy because that doesn't make sense to me. But
It makes no sense. But
I was like, that's actually really cool. It was in Wabash, and it happened March 31st, 1880. And the population of the city at the time was 320 people, but over 10,000 people came to witness the event.
wow.
Imagine the first time ever, like going to this little town and the first time ever having electric lights where like a town can be lit up at night. Imagine seeing that for the first time in your life.
That'd be. I
That'd be
wonder what
amazing.
backlash they got from that, if any.
Probably none. People were probably fascinated. I bet people were like, "This is awesome! Like, can I have one
There
of these?"
definitely had to be like a couple old timers that were
Oh,
like,
well, yeah.
"Ooh,
I mean, when isn't there some old person that's like, "Oh, back in my day, we had to use candles, and that's it." There's someone
yeah."
that was like, "People and these light bulbs is so stupid."
Like, yeah, had have been. Well,
That, yeah, there's always someone like that.
yeah, Indiana is the first state to have a chapel in its state capital.
What? I find nah.
Mm-hmm.
How? That
I
doesn't make
don't know.
sense. Indiana was the like 19th state. Like, how
I
does that
guess
add
it's
up?
the first state to have it in its state capital.
Fair enough. I mean,
We're just holier.
honestly, I feel like most small towns, the two main things you'll find, depending on where you are, is churches and bars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but you still can't buy liquor until noon on Sundays.
That's probably smart.
You couldn't, you used to not be able to buy liquor in Indiana on Sundays.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
You
hearing about it.
remember that? You
I
remember that?
remember. I remember. No, I remember hearing about it.
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
test the theory. I'm gonna go to the grocery store at 8 in the morning Sunday and be like, I want this beer.
I bet they want to turn you away, but you can
Be
try.
like, I just turned 21. Let me get it.
I think
uh,
this when I turn 21, I'm gonna go into the store at like 12:01 or like
yeah.
right
Oh,
at
dude,
12.
I worked at a grocery store for a long time, or for several years. Like, I had to work on Sundays. There
Hmm.
would be people that would come in right before noon and wait till the clock struck 12 to bring through alcohol. Like, there wasn't like a big line, but there was some people that would be there basically right before noon, go pick out what they wanted, kind of get whatever else, and they would basically check out like right after noon,
Dang,
so they could get their liquor. And so
they
I've heard
really
people
like their
say,
liquor.
oh, 100%. I mean, I've heard people say that like back in the day there was rushes on like Saturday nights at liquor stores because people knew they couldn't get their Sunday beer, obviously
Ooh,
on
yeah.
Sundays. So everybody would go and stock up on beer for Sunday, like at the end of the day, Saturday night. Just
That's
kind
so
of, it
fun.
honestly, it's kind of crazy that that was even a law and that's still a thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
there are still some counties across the country. I don't know where. I think there's one in Tennessee that's still a dry county, so it's illegal to purchase alcohol there. Like, you can't buy liquor.
Dang.
Yeah, like, so
Well,
there's still some places.
what did you know that the North Pole actually doesn't get any letters from Santa Claus, but
Yeah, I
Indiana
know
does.
Yeah, I know they all go to Indiana because we got Santa Claus, Indiana. Did you
And
know that? You want to know why
they
it's
actually
named
like
that?
replied to him. What?
Did you know why they named it that?
No.
It's because they wanted to name it Santa Fe, Indiana, but we already had one of those. So they went with Santa Claus.
Smart.
Yeah. And I can't remember when the town was founded, but I know that, yeah, that's how that happened. And that's also right outside Holiday World. Indiana's only, well, no. Technically you got Indiana Beach, but our largest theme park, amusement park. Yeah.
Hmm.
Have you ever been to Holiday World?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever been to a amusement park?
Yeah, I've been to Kings Island a couple of times. I'm
Okay,
not a big
okay,
fan
okay.
of amusement parks.
I was worried.
I
Why?
used to be. I don't know. Like, I just,
You get weird vibes about a lot of shit.
I do.
Like it'll be
I
something
do.
random, and you're like, I don't know, I just don't like it.
I don't. It's just like amusement parks. First, I black out on all the roller coasters.
You black
And
out
then
on the roller
I
coasters?
I used to not be, but now I do. Like every roller coaster, as soon as it starts and like goes up the hill and then goes down, I black
You
out and then I
you just
like
pass out.
kinda, and then I wake up at the end and I'm like, huh.
That
And
was a
then
nice nap.
I don't know why, but it's just like I always feel, and I mean, I live in a house and I have food and I have a car, so I'm spoiled. But at an amusement park, I feel very spoiled for some reason. It's just like I look around, I'm just like, man, we're really spoiled, and it just like it doesn't make me feel great.
Really? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mean, I guess I get that, but there's nothing you can change. Like, I mean, I think honestly, what is it? It's technically you're in the top 1% of the world if you make it's like $30,000 a year
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
because well, yeah, because like the U.S. average is 56,000 or whatever. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the median income for the U.S. But and so like I think the top 1% is considered anyone that makes I think it's like four. It's like I think it's depending on age a little bit as well. But I think it's around $500,000 a year. But if you want to be in the top 1% of the world, it's make 30 grand. That's it. Because
Yeah,
there's
makes sense.
countries where it's hard to make a dollar a day,
Dang, yeah,
which is crazy.
it is crazy, but yeah, not a big fan of amusement parks anymore.
Really, I mean I haven't been in a while. I would
I
love to go
haven't been in
back
years.
because I was definitely the kid that was like scared to ride certain rides, whatever else. I feel like now I would just be like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
Plus, I
Like,
would rather like do a giant hike or go like rock climbing than amusement park. That's just me, but it's just like I would rather go do something,
I mean, I
something
enjoy that
else.
kind of stuff, but like you can't get. I mean, yeah, you just don't get the same. Depending on what you're doing, you can't get the thrill. Like the whole point is, it's like the safest way almost in life to get like a real big adrenaline rush.
That is
Like
that's
that's kind of like
true.
the whole point that people like it is because they get addicted to the antsiness, the high heart rate, the fuck. I was just super scared.
That's it. That's another thing. I stopped getting like adrenaline rushes on roller coasters.
Well, you probably
Like
just rode the same ones too much.
no, it was like I kept writing different ones, and I think even one year we went to another amusement parks, and like we went on this one called the Dragster, where it goes like straight up really really far and then straight down. And on that one, like after that one, I never felt an adrenaline rush on a roller coaster. Like,
Interesting.
and I'm just like, it's like I don't know what to explain it to. I guess I've never done
Hmm.
drugs, but I guess it would be like taking drugs and not getting high.
Interesting. I mean, I like it. I'm trying to think what a good analogy would be, but that's weird. I've never necessarily heard of that, but I mean, hey, shit happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do have a couple other things for Indiana. Did you know that the first ever recorded train robbery happened outside of Seymour, Indiana?
I did not know that.
It was done by the Jackson Thieves, or there was a different gang to them, gang name as well. And it was the first ever recorded train robbery, and they stole over $13,000 from um, passengers and whatever else that was on the train.
Dang.
and I can't. Oh man, I should have wrote down the year, but I know it was in the 1800s. So that $13,000 was probably worth. Whoa, wow, at least a hundred or more easily nowadays. So
Dang.
yeah, they got away with quite a bit of the money for sure. Um,
That that's so cool.
and then okay, so you mentioned you had some like weird haunting stories or whatever. What did you
I had
find?
more.
Oh,
So there's a house. I forget where it was. But there's a house in Indiana that police confirmed it was haunted by demons and ghosts, and it also had a portal to hell. And they tore it down, but like everyone was like, "Yeah, that place was haunted,"
I
and
feel
it
like
was
I've
horrible.
heard. I feel like I've heard of that somewhere. I mean, speaking of just like crazy stuff that's happened in Indiana, do you know who Jim Jones is?
Who?
Jim Jones.
Mm-mm.
He
Sounds
was
familiar.
basically the most prolific cult leader, and almost I would
Oh,
probably say American history, considering how many people he had and
oh,
what ended up
fancy.
happening. He was from Indianapolis. He grew up in Indy in the 40s or
I don't
something.
know if that's something we can brag about.
No. Yeah, it was really weird. The dude honestly did a lot of good for the community in Indy for a long time, and
Hmm.
basically with how like charismatic he was and everything he did, like he helped out a lot of African American communities and was involved with a lot of church stuff and helping the poor. That basically the two routes he probably would have went down with his mindset and the amount of people he tried helping would have either been a politician or a cult leader.
Well,
Yeah.
props to him. Like, not really. I mean,
Yeah. I was gonna say
at least he
if anybody
helped
wants
a
to look
couple
into
people out.
it, the Jonestown, like I was gonna say I'm not gonna go into the full backstory of it, but let's just say like there was a lot to everything they did, but basically the thing that ended up, I guess, putting them on the map or made them aware to the public of how crazy everything was I think it has the largest mass suicide ever recorded.
Oh,
And so he moved his entire call or everyone to somewhere in South America, and they tried building their own town in the middle of this jungle. And trying to build a town in a jungle down there is ridiculously challenging because the trees are not the same and the stuff you're dealing with is not the same. They ended up doing that. I think he somehow got on the like FBI's radar with certain stuff or something at the time, and he was worried that they were gonna like come and take him away or something, and he forced everybody to drink Kool-Aid with cyanide in it. And
oh,
yeah, so it was like 980 people or something dead.
well,
It's crazy.
that that's pretty crazy.
Uh, that kind of stuff it's nuts. I don't like
What?
that.
That's a lot about Indiana that I had no clue about.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you've been to, or well, do you know of Story, Indiana, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the little town like southeast of Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so apparently I didn't know this. I was looking into some stuff. Apparently that place is haunted. So apparently it was
Really?
like, yeah, apparently the town, I can't remember when it was founded, but it was in the 1800s, little tiny town, hardly anything there. And in the 1980s, someone came through, bought all the buildings or most of the buildings, created the Story Inn and the general store and a bunch of little stuff. So it kind of became like a little tourist area tucked away down there. But apparently there are a bunch of sightings of the supposed blue lady
Blue lady.
which is suspected to be the wife of the town's founder. I can't remember the guy's first name, but his last name was Story, hinting at the name. But they think that they've also seen some male presences there, and I guess like doors and cabinets open. People have seen a female figure in like a dress. People have seen like weird lights in the trees and like orbs and a bunch of weird stuff and all this. And I just found out about this morning, and I had at one point in time lived 20 minutes from there and never heard anything about this. Like, I know someone that works at the Story Inn, like his parents, I don't know if they own it, but they work there. And so I'm actually kind of curious. I want to message him and be like, yo, have you ever seen a ghost while working there?
I mean, we've ridden horses to Story before.
Really?
From the campground, but I've never seen a blue lady.
I don't even know what a horse is.
It's something. It's something.
Yeah.
It's something.
Explain it. Explain it to me.
Explain a horse to you?
Yeah. What is a horse?
A horse.
We're playing Jeopardy now.
A horse is a four-legged, really big puppy dog.
Ooh.
That
So
you
it's a
can
dog?
jump on the back and ride for as long as you want.
I don't know if as long as you want is correct, because I know they will drop dead at one point.
They will. So maybe not, but
Maybe a
it's
camel.
a four-legged, really big puppy dog that you can ride.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I found out another place as well. Apparently, there is a large tunnel, literally called Big Tunnel in Indiana, near Tunnelton, which ended up being the name of the town. Pretty ironic. But it was constructed in 1857, and I think it's like one of the largest tunnels in Indiana, which probably at the same time isn't very big, but it's for a railroad. And I guess there's stories where there was a nearby cemetery and there was a flood or something, and it allowed caskets to pop out of the ground and float or slide it down into the tunnel, and they ended up being a part of during the building site, and then they were just built as part of the foundation to the tunnel or some weird stuff. And apparently some people, there's stories of a man that got decapitated by a train while working on the railroad, and some other, like 2 other workers that hung themselves at the end of the tunnel or something. So people say that the tunnel's haunted and that they've seen specters and ghosts and like weird lights and like a bunch of random stuff at this tunnel. So it's whatever. It's about 125 years old. No, that's really bad math. 150 plus years old or something. And it's just like in the middle of nowhere in this woods. I think it's somewhere in southern Indiana, and it's just apparently a haunted tunnel.
We'll have to go visit that someday. That's crazy.
Yeah. Gee, I'll just be like, hey, like, what up, tunnel people? I mean, at least we didn't grow up in a town named Tunnelton.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool name though. Tunnelton, Indiana. We grew up in a town called Tipton.
You think Tunnelton's a good name?
Oh yeah. I'll name my first kid Tunnelton. You're married Tunnelton. Eat your breakfast.
Okay, so wait, I'm looking this up. Tunnelton, Indiana. Where is this at exactly? Oh, it is tiny. Where the hell? Where is this? Okay, so it's probably like 45 minutes south of Nashville, almost straight south. Just a little town off of this like little river. Tiny little place. So who knows where I mean the topography there is like hilly and stuff. So yeah, apparently the tunnel's somewhere out in those woods. Wow.
Dude.
That's interesting.
In December,
That
we'll have to go to it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Take a road trip to a tunnel.
Yes, definitely.
Fair enough. Okay, so I think we were gonna talk a little bit about some of the stuff we got up to in Oregon the couple times I've been out. Considered we hinted at the man we met at the park last week. We never caught the guy's name, but I would say you've lived in Oregon now from school
2 years.
or with school. Yeah, 2 years now.
2 years.
And I was gonna say I've been out twice now, the past 2 Marches, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time there, but honestly, in the short amount of time I have been out there, we've done quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so I'm trying to think. We can just kind of get into some of the stuff we've done out there, or the stories that we have. I mean, the first time I went out there was 2021, so yeah, last March, and I think I was only out there for 3 days, full days, and if that. And honestly, we did quite a bit. I was gonna say, my first day out, we had already kind of planned out our game plan for the amount of time I was out there, and we decided to drive to Crater Lake, which is what, like two hours from you, roughly.
Mm-hmm. It was 2 hours the road. We took the long way, but yeah,
It was
about 2 hours
it was
away.
such a cool drive. Like
It was.
that was a lot of fun. But we got up there. I mean, so it's March, whatever else. But like where you live, like it was fairly warm at the time. Like it was 65 or something, like 60s. And then so we're doing this drive or whatever else. First time I've ever been out to Oregon. First time I've ever like been in large mountains like that or anything. First time going cross country. And so we're going up this mountain, and just slowly but surely, it's like just a gradual incline over, like almost for a half hour alone, just slowly driving up the mountain. And we just slowly start seeing more and more snow. And I can't remember, had you been there before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, you were up there during the summer, so you had seen it differently at that point.
Yeah.
But by the time we get to the top of this mountain, which at the same time there was traffic and whatever else because of all the snow and entrance and trying to get tourists through and whatever else, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. But by the time we got up to the lodge, I mean, the snow was probably 6 foot plus deep.
Yeah,
Like, it was
crazy.
It was the most snow I've ever seen in my life. I was, yeah, it was interesting. And the weird, funny thing of it is that you and me showed up with a backpack full of snacks, wearing blue jeans, hiking boots, and a hoodie. And then we get there and we see people in full, like, cross-country ski outfits. A bunch of people with dogs wearing, like, snowsuits and all this kind of stuff, but we're just like, yep, we're ready, let's go, we have PB&J and popcorn, we're ready to hit the road. Like, we look so out of place.
We look like Indiana people.
Honestly, you could tell we were tourists.
Yeah. You definitely could.
And so I mean, I don't think either of us realized it, but it makes sense. During the winter, they close down like most of the roads to go around the lake, just because trying to maintain keeping the roads clean, considering how much snow's up there, would be ridiculous. So there's basically only like one trail we could go down, which honestly, not even a whole lot of people did that. I feel like most people stuck around the lodge just to take some photos. So we probably ended up hiking, it was like maybe a mile and a half from our car or your truck or whatever.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, I mean, we're hiking through snow and whatever else, and yeah, there's people skiing past us, and we look like idiots. But honestly, I think when it came to when we kind of got to the quote-unquote peak, which we didn't, like it was definitely not the tallest peak in the area, but it was the closest one to us. I think we honestly got higher up than anybody else there that day.
I think we did. Maybe.
Because I never saw any tracks past a certain point. So Noah, being the little climber he is, started heading up before me, and we just slowly shimmied our way up the side of this mountain, trying to deal with the snow, and just like climbing up under this above on this cliff face, and it was that view was something else. Like, that was awesome.
It was. Crater Lake is a must if you visit Oregon. Oh yeah,
it is a natural wonder in my books. Like that place is amazing, and
so
cool. Noah wanted to keep trying to climb around, but I think we tried to. I think you ended up sliding.
Yeah,
you missed footing.
Sliding.
Well, I thought you tried like climbing up, and I was like, hey, there's nothing to grip onto. Like, I don't know how we're gonna necessarily get up there. And I think you went for it, and then you just ended up started sliding down the mountain. So I just look over, you're like sliding past me and sliding down the side through the snow, and I'm like, Noah? And you're like, bye. you just shoom, just sliding down. So we ended up just doing that a few times, basically making a giant slide out of a mountain, which was honestly pretty fun. That was the first time I've ever dealt with being on a mountain and dealing with like lower oxygen levels. Like at one point when we were trying to run through the woods and everything else, between trying to run through feet of snow and just everything else in the altitude, like I don't, my heart was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, where are we? You're gonna get us killed. Like, it was so bad. I think I've never felt that way ever doing any sort of, I guess, quote unquote exercise just from the lower oxygen levels in the air. Like, that threw me off.
Lower oxygen, like being at higher altitude, definitely is different, and it sucks, especially when you're running and racing around in it.
But it was so much fun. I was gonna say, we did that. We got back to the truck, and I think we just kind of hung out and made PB&Js because we were hungry. So we ate like a few peanut butter and jellies, a bunch of that, which is amazing. Two 19-year-olds hanging out in Oregon eating peanut butter and jelly on the side of a mountain. And I was gonna say, that same day we didn't go to the coast, did we? No, we didn't. That was the next day, wasn't it?
Yeah, the next day we went to the coast.
Yeah, so we probably, but on our way back we hit, did we only go to that one waterfall, or I can't remember.
I
think we only hit one.
I can't remember either.
And so that was pretty cool. So we went on this little trail. We went a different way back, and Noah was like, hey, let's swing through this waterfall we go to every now and again. And I was like, okay. We went through, and it was maybe like a mile hike to the waterfall itself. And so Noah at one point was walking up across logs over the river that had fallen and whatever else, but I was just fascinated by everything because I never had seen anything like those woods, obviously. And so we went and found this waterfall, climbed over to the guardrail and climbed down like good Americans, and you ended up stripping and jumping into the retention pool there.
That was cold.
I was surprised you were going for it. You were just like, I was like, oh, okay.
Usually I do. Every time I visit, I have to jump in. It's just,
yeah.
You have to.
And while we were there, we happened to run into a few guys, and this guy was obviously high as hell. And came over to us, and he was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing, or where are you from?" And we kind of talked to him for a minute, told him where we were from, and I was visiting and whatever else. And he's like, "Oh, that's awesome." And he's like, "You guys want any mushrooms?" And we're like, you know what? We're good. We still got like a 2-hour drive. We don't need anything like that right now. Well, we're okay, but thanks for the offer.
Shit, that was definitely some happy hippies.
Oh, did he? He was having a blast. They started wandering off and like
Who knows
making a
what that guy
fort.
was seeing.
Like, and then also while we were there was a woman with a newborn that had climbed down the side with a baby, and I was both of us were super shocked and honestly pretty impressed.
I hope that's like my wife.
I was like, damn, this lady's like, I want to go down and look at the waterfall. Child, you're strapped to my chest. We're going.
I want to find a girl like that.
I was like, all right, this lady means business. She ain't missing out. But I was gonna say I think that's basically the main stuff we did that day. Like, we came back and didn't do too much. We hung around town. I met some of your college buddies and whatever else. But then the next day we ended up going to the coast. So that was the first time I've ever seen the Pacific Ocean, which was super cool. I'd say we were probably at the beach for 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah.
Just running around like a bunch of maniacs. I was gonna say we were climbing on rocks and climbing through little like caves made by like the currents and some of the rocks right off the coast and whatever else, and just watching the tide come in. And by the end of it, I mean, we weren't soaked, but I mean the water was pretty cold, and we had climbed all sorts of shit. Like, people were probably looking at us like, who the hell are these kids? Like,
they probably
what is happening?
We were on drugs.
Honestly, probably. So that was pretty. Honestly, that was really cool. Just trying to quote unquote spelunking. Going through a few little caves, watching the ocean and stuff. But I'm trying to think what else we got up to when I was out there that time. I was gonna say we did that. I'm trying to think where else we went. I don't know if we went too far. Oh, we hit up a few waterfalls the next day. We went hiking, and we went to 3 or 4 waterfalls, and just like literally in the middle of nowhere, I think in the national forest. And to get to the waterfalls, we had to go down some old logging road. So it's just a gravel road on the side of this mountain. And we ended up finding this little place, which was honestly really, really nice. There was a pond and a couple waterfalls nearby. And so we went and hit up, I don't know, I think we did all 3 before we left. But we got split up there for a minute, and you were lost in the woods. I was gonna say, what happened to you? Where did you end up going? Because I don't know what happened. Like, you were gone for like 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, where did you go?
I tried bushwhacking and trailblazing, and I got pretty lost. But then I finally found a road and started running, and then eventually somehow found you in the truck.
I was gonna say, like,
eventually.
It was so funny because you took off in a certain direction, and I was like, well, we should be going this way. Because even though we had no signal, I could pull up maps, and I was like, okay, you can kind of see where we are, and I could still kind of see where I could see the direction of the pond. So I was like, okay, so it's just this direction. And so at one point, I did go off trail and went a different way, and I ended up back like probably 5-10 minutes before you were. And I was like, where the fuck is Noah? So like at one point I was like walking back into the woods a bit, calling for you, and I was like, how the fuck did I lose this guy when he's the one that lives out here. The truck's locked and we're in the middle of nowhere and he's lost in the woods. I was like, well, this is fun.
I'm a special guy.
I was like, Noah, like, dude, the truck's over here. And then you just happen to like stumble out of the woods like, hello. I'm like, where the hell did you end up? You're like, I don't know, just walking around. I was like, I was like, okay.
I'm just me. I was a wanderer.
I was gonna say, I think even the direction you came from, I was like, how the hell did you end up over there? And you're just like, but somehow you just kind of like you said, you just found your way back to the truck, but it was so random and whatever else. But I mean, that's kind of all the main stuff we got up to that first time we got out there. I don't think there was anything necessarily super crazy we did. But I was out there this March for 5 days, 6 days.
Mm-hmm. I think 6 days, yeah.
Saturday to Wednesday was when I flew out, or something like that. And so we had a little more time, and we ended up going to. We did go back to the coast, but we went to a different place, and we ended up finding this little cove. And me and Noah, whenever we are, which kind of explains from our origin story episode, we like to explore and just do random shit and just wander off and look at stuff. We are curious minds. And
we're just
so
like little kids.
Honestly, we really are. I don't think we're ever going to grow out of it. And I was going to say, we're like, well, how do we get up there? Because we were in the cove, like on the beach. We're like, how do we get on that cliff, like on top of that? So we found a way up, climbed up found like a little trailhead, but didn't look like anybody had been on it in a while. Kind of went up on this trail to get on top of it and ended up finding another cove just on the other side of the hill, pretty much. We called it Big Dick Cove, because no one else had found it. Or no one, we say that no one else was there, so we wandered around and was climbing up stuff, and we ended up working our way around the cove, and there was this like what kind of looked like a giant stone wall on the ocean. Like, I'm kind of curious how the hell it ended up like that. And he just looked over at me and you're like, I want up there. And I was like, okay, how do we get over there, I guess? And at one point you got like around a corner and like shimmied your way across the side of this little like rock face. And I'm just like chilling for a minute, and I hadn't seen you, and I was like, I'm guessing you made it over there, but I don't know. And then like 3 minutes later, I look over and you're on the top of this freaking stone wall that's like 100 foot in the air, and you're just waving at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? And you're like, come on. I'm like, okay, fuck. I was like, all right, I'll be there in a second. So I climbed my way around, like, but it's so cool. Like, no one was around. We're on this big cliff 100 feet above the ocean, and I mean the water is just smacking these rocks and splashing like 60 feet in the air, and this and that. And we're just, we noticed a lighthouse about a mile away and all this. Like, it was so cool. Like, the ocean and stuff like that the stuff we've seen out there, it's been a lot of fun. That was like fascinating going to the coast and just climbing around. I was gonna say,
yeah, it was pretty
amazing. Weren't we near Coos Bay?
Yeah, we were. I don't know how far away we were, but we were pretty close to Coos Bay.
Oh, I almost forgot. We saw sea lions.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we ended up just like traveling down the road a bit, and we ended up coming to this lookout point, and we get out, and then we hear like these animal noises, And both me and Noah immediately like look over at each other and just stare, and we're like, are those sea lions? And we like run over to the railing, and we're like peering out into the ocean, and we see like these little like blobs of meat just chilling on these rocks like 300 yards away. Well, probably a little more, honestly, just out on like the shallow bit on some rocks, and we just hear and we're just like, oh, look at all of them. And I mean, honestly, we saw quite a bit. Like, it seemed like there was probably hundreds out there, and then there just happened to be a random guy at the lookout point that I don't know if he like lives there and just studies the damn seal or what, but he was like talking. He wasn't talking directly to us, but he was talking to a couple or something that was there, and was like, it's like we gotta shit, what was it he said? He was like, yeah, some of them like come here to breed, and these sea lions live here.
I don't know, but that guy was just trying to go to everybody and talk about all this stuff.
He was literally talking to like every person that was walking up almost, and he was like, these sea lions stay this far away from the coast, and these come here, and these breed at this time, and blah blah blah. And we're just like, why do you know this, and why are you here telling everybody? I was like, do you work for the state? Who are you?
He was some kind of expert on it, but I don't think anybody really cared.
It was so random. And didn't you say that like when we were going through part of Coos Bay, didn't you say that was like one of the most dangerous cities in Oregon or something like that?
Yeah, it has more murders than Chicago. At least it used to. I don't know if it still does, but it's like it's like the ghetto. It's like it's pretty bad.
I was gonna say, I had no idea. You said that, and I was kind of like, really? Like, it didn't seem like a very large city. And I was like, this is just like a little coastal town in Oregon. How the hell is it that bad?
Coos Bay is pretty big. Yeah,
which is crazy. Honestly, after I came home from that trip, I found out that there's only 2 states where you can't pump your gas, and it's Oregon, which I knew just from being out there, but apparently New Jersey, I think.
Oregon and New Jersey.
I didn't know that, and I was like, I mean, obviously we talked about the Oregon one when I was out there, and how the whole reason was like they needed they needed jobs, so like they made that a job. But the first time we were out there, I was so weird because we pulled up to a gas station, and then you just sat in the truck, and I was like, are you gonna get gas? You're like, no, I can't. And I was like, what do you mean? And you were like, it's illegal. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? It's illegal to fill up, like, get gas. He's like, no, they have to do it. And I was like, and I look out and I see someone like pumping gas at another station or talking to someone. I was like, oh. I was like, okay, that's not normal to me by any means. Like, that's interesting. But yeah, it's still so weird. Like, even when I was out there this time, just like every time we ever had to get gas, just pull up, and it's like, yep, put this much in and whatever. Like, I don't know, it's still hard to wrap my head around because it's such a weird thing that obviously is normal out there, but nothing you ever see here, and how it's just so common.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to it.
I was gonna say, did you like try pumping your gas the first time you went out there? Or, like,
no, like I knew that it was there were signs posted and stuff, and so I asked about it. But sometimes I really wanted to get out and pump my own gas because it would be a lot more time efficient.
Oh yeah, especially if they're busy, or like, at one point you might just be sitting there waiting on someone to come over, and it's like, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess if it's giving people jobs, it is what it is. But it is just so random. I felt like, but I was like, all right, I mean, fair enough. Everybody needs gas, but
Yeah.
um, I think we're probably gonna wrap it up for this week. Um, I don't think we have anything necessarily planned out yet for next week, but we're gonna have some other topic we're gonna talk about and break down a little bit and get into. I was gonna say just check us out on any of our platforms. We're on 7, so if you check out our fan link, there's links to all the platforms we're available on. Check out our YouTube channel, post clips and stuff every day. Subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and just leave a comment or review or whatever else on Spotify. Like, we appreciate any support we get from you guys. And all right, no, I'll let you send us out. It's all you.
Don't forget to follow I don't know if you said this, but don't forget to follow the Instagram, Barbells and Trails. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And see you next time.
Yep. See you guys later.